Welcome to Motovision, welcome to issue 2, and welcome to some Supercross. In this issue, we bring you from the US of A, McGrath fighting back after a Tortelli showdown of the season opener, and we go from round 7, Georgia in Atlanta. From there, we move across to Tampa in Florida. Then we pick up with McGrath looking better and better to Daytona Beach. Then across to Speed World in New Orleans. And then finally we switch across to the season opener in Beaucaire. That's where all the winter testing will show who's done their work. And it, well, might be Steven Evans again. And then we go to round 1 in Spain in Talavera for the 250 GP opener. Stay with us.
From the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, it's round 7 of AMA Supercross. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Marty Reed ready to bring you the action as we get set for the 250 main from Atlanta, Georgia.
That shot a moment ago of all the front tires backed off the gate about 2.5 feet. There's a bar back there. They can't back up any farther than that. They'll roll into it.
Board is sideways, and they're off. Whoa, McGrath getting a little sideways right there with Wyndham number 8 in good position. On the outside, it's Emig. Wyndham, Emig in that order with Doug Henry and Jimmy Button in 3rd and 4th, and then Jeremy McGrath and Ezra Lusk.
Beautiful job Wyndham did to get around the inside of that corner after the triple, protect his line.
Oh, we got some good battling going on. Starting our main event from Atlanta. Kevin Wyndham now getting the challenge from Jimmy Button. Can Jimmy Button win his very first Supercross here in Atlanta? Side by side, Wyndham gets the power. Kevin Wyndham has already won 1 Supercross race. That was last year in Charlotte. Trying to hold off Jimmy Button. Oh, it's close. They're rubbing number plates.
Boy, unbelievable how aggressive Button is, and that's what causes him to... Well, looked like he may have had that pass made. Just sheer aggression right there, Art.
Jimmy Button into first place.
Well, with the way things look right now, it's possible for the Chaparral guys to end up on the podium again, but this time it may be reversed.
Here comes Lusk, the Team Honda rider. Boy, with McGrath right behind him, both of them passing Doug Henry.
One mistake by Henry, and there goes Lusk and McGrath. And I think they're going to leave him, too. These guys are in a battle of their own. A little bit faster pace than Doug in the heat race, and I think in the main here, now that when all the chips are down, it's going to continue to be a faster pace than Doug's capable of here.
Lusk starting to pull up now towards 2nd place. Kevin Wyndham, there's Wyndham in your screen. Lusk number 3 right behind him. This could prove to be a big battle right now. McGrath is behind him. Wyndham trying desperately to hold on to 2nd place as they cross the finish line jump.
He needed a start, but Wyndham that is, but just not quite enough. Button all over him in the beginning. Here comes Lusk now.
Ezra Lusk number 3.
Lusk, he's got to get around Wyndham right now. I think he knows he's capable of doing it. Thinks he's a little faster here and there. He certainly was in his heat race. Here's his chance to the whoops.
Ezra Lusk. Kevin Wyndham, Ezra Lusk, oh, dismounts the bike. Out of control, and Kevin Wyndham retains the lead. Ezra Lusk not too far behind, though. He's behind Ryan Hughes. Jimmy Button, our leader.
Now he can see that his teammate McGrath had just made the pass.
Kevin Wyndham goes down. Oh, the rider's on edge. You know, it's going to be interesting when we get back in the leaders. Here's Ryan Hughes. And Henry battling it out for 3rd. Right now, Henry moves into 3rd with Ryan Hughes coming right back. Oh, Rhino.
Boy, that was an aggressive, beautiful move. It wasn't much room right there, and Ryan just nailed it. And that causes Henry to... Couldn't get over that quadruple right there, and Lusk was able to do it, and he moves by as well.
It's going to be interesting. I was trying to get to it earlier about Jimmy Button. How will he react now to his teammate Jeremy McGrath coming up behind him?
Yeah, this will feel just like it is during the week when they're out there riding together. I'm sure they've been in this position before. Now it makes a little bit more important, but I'm sure Jimmy knows what to do.
Jeremy McGrath cutting in front of Button, but Button coming back with the lead.
He's not going to give it to him. He's going to make him earn it. Right here going wide is kind of giving it to him, but Jeremy came up short there. So watch Jimmy's line here. He's going to go wide.
Jeremy McGrath to the inside. Button leaping all the way. Does he have enough momentum to come back on Jeremy McGrath as they go over the triple? Two Chaparral Yamahas out in front once again. Battling it out for first place. McGrath is just not shaking Jimmy Button, even though McGrath now secures the position. They're coming up on Steve Lampson to lap him.
Well, it surprises me a little bit that Button went wide like that, but maybe he just kind of felt like, you know, I don't think I can hold this guy off. Nobody else can beat him. How the heck am I supposed to?
Here's Hughes in third place in front of Lusk. Boy, Lusk is really jumping all over the place.
He wants this so bad. He still feels like he can catch those guys.
As for Lusk now in third behind the two Chaparrals. 5 laps to go. Wyndham to the inside on Ryan Hughes, but oh, look out for the downed riders as for Lusk.
Well, Lusk has been hanging it out through that whoop section, going down at the end of it in this corner right here.
That puts Hughes in third.
LaRocco over that quadruple, making the pass on Lusk.
Mike LaRocco is Factory Connection Honda. Well, things are pretty spread apart now as our leader Jeremy McGrath looking to become one of the 4 riders to ever win Supercross title, lose it, and win it back again. You might remember Ward, Jeff Ward, Ricky Johnson, and Jeff Stanton, the 3 other riders to be able to do that. You see the finish line with the white flag out. Lusk and Hughes still battling it out.
Coming together there at the end. I thought Hughes might get a better drive out of that corner, but Lusk just faded out into the line to make sure he made that pass stick. Just can't believe how much Lusk has been through. It's been an incredible journey. Another hard landing off that triple. That soil here is just kills you when you land.
Only 3 more turns. Now 2 more turns for Jeremy McGrath. Incredible, his record over the years. McGrath taking his time. Jeremy McGrath, the checkers. Hello, everyone, and welcome to round 8 of AMA Supercross. Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Marty Rigg to bring it all to you from Houlihan Stadium in Tampa, Florida. Can anybody beat Jeremy McGrath under these adverse conditions? The 32nd board is sideways. We're off. The main event for the 250s is underway. McGrath in good position out front. Going down was Henry.
Had a great start. Art was right there next to McGrath, went down, took Albertyn with him.
Larry Ward is the leader.
In the back of the pack, LaRocco and Jeff Emig got hung up in that first turn pile up.
The battle for second place now. Jeremy McGrath, I don't know if something's wrong, but he's gone back into 4th.
Well, it's happening. He's getting challenged by the aggressive riding of both John Dowd and Wyndham. Those guys weren't waiting.
Ward with a 5-second lead on the second place rider, Wyndham.
Oh, he's just gone. It's unbelievable. He just was so aggressive earlier today in practice, aggressive in his heat race, didn't get a good start. He charged up in there, even made some mistakes and recovered from those.
Too early to say anything about the end result of this race, but Ward has got a great advantage. Wyndham has got an advantage over Jeremy McGrath, who moves into 3rd around John Dowd. And Lusk is right behind Dowdy.
So McGrath finally working his way into 3rd. Now he's got sights on Wyndham, who's trying to close that gap on Ward.
Emig is in 16th place. Marty Reed reports from down below. Oh, Jeremy McGrath stumbling right there. Can Lusk take advantage of it and going up and over? Oh, John Dowd.
Boy, he should get some points for that. That was just a complete over the bars. So it's not just Larry Ward. It's got that Suzuki dialed in. Pichon having a great semi-run. That team's starting to get things dialed in. Wyndham off the racetrack in the whoop section. Misses a couple of those tough boxes, jumps back on. I think that'll be okay in the ruling. He's letting it hang out too, Art. I like to see Larry get this aggressive. He can smell a victory. I don't think he feels really threatened by Kevin. Look at that. He's got to land and pick one of those ruts. Just amazing. The guys that are doing well out here tonight have just got great balance. You have to be on to ride well here. McGrath just a little bit off. Also thinking about the championship. He's just won a bunch. Why does he have to win again here tonight?
I wonder if there might be something wrong with McGrath. Lamson now is making a move on McGrath. McGrath is in 5th behind Albie. Here's a 4th place for Greg Albertyn. His best finish of the year was in Los Angeles at 6th. So he's on his way to a possible best finish on the season.
I'm happy for him too. He's been struggling. He has had the same thing going on as Emig. He's fast, but just having all kinds of problems, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And what's possible, Art, is Jimmy Button moving through the pack, moving up to the back of Lamson now. Wouldn't surprise me to see Button pass his teammate McGrath before the end of this race.
Albertyn, a difficult season, out of the top 10, fighting to get back in. The wind is whipping up now, so the fog is actually dispersing a bit here in Tampa, Florida. 12 laps to go, as you see there. And it's Larry Ward who took the lead away in the early going and has held it all the way. It is now starting to pour, so that adverse weather that we talked about earlier, we weren't talking about the fog. We were talking about a huge front of rain as the fans bring out the slickers. Jeremy McGrath battles in 5th. How will this make it more difficult now with no goggles for Larry Ward?
It's going to be horrible. He's going to have a really tough time out there trying to see. It's bad either way, but when you got to start this with no goggles, it's a little bit worse. And this is going to get real interesting because these ruts, it rains really hard. Some of them will fill up with water, and then the spots where these guys were hooking up, it's going to get slicker. So the conditions are going to just deteriorate bad. And the potential for Lust to close in on Wyndham and then on Ward, the three-way battle for the lead is there. Button only able to go for the single there that time. LaRocco pulls right up alongside, able to double it.
Ward, Wyndham, Lusk, McGrath, and Albie. Greg Albertyn. And the battle with Mike LaRocco cutting in front of Damon Huffman. Well, Larry Ward needs only one message, David. That's focus.
Yeah, he just wants to see that white flag
and get
soon.
it going.
But you know, the thing is, he's actually starting to stretch his lead now on Kevin Wyndham. That's going to give him a lot of confidence, help him ride even more relaxed, make better decisions. And the other thing is, too, is that Lusk is starting to pick up time on Wyndham.
Button passes into 5th.
Wyndham could start worrying more about Lusk coming up than worrying about catching Larry. That's good news for Ward and Suzuki.
Button goes down. You see him in the left corner of your screen as the other riders rip by him. Number 11, Button smoking big time.
Just as he crested that hill, Albertyn had gassed it, threw a shovel full of mud right in his face. Look at Albertyn going past McGrath.
Albertyn moves up another notch. He's in 4th. Ward, Lusk, Wyndham, Albie in 4th. Huffman now in 5th and LaRocco in 6th. Here's Damon Huffman. Boy, he's had a battle on his hands.
Now he's got LaRocco back there, and he can never relax. LaRocco's a great come-from-behind rider, as is Huffman. There you see, looks like Button's bike. They're trying to clear some of the mud out of the radiator.
1 lap to go. The white flag is waving for Larry Ward. Can he hold on and gain his 2nd Supercross victory of his career with 8 years in between?
Well, this is horrible for him right now because there you see him case a jump, big mistake. He's trying to get around Emig a moment ago, and he got a shower full of mud as he went up the finish line jump.
And it's closing up. Ezra Lusk right behind him. We're going down to the wire. Ezra is trying for his 3rd win of the season. Can Larry Ward hold him off? The last lap. Ward still holding true. Starts to widen his lead now on Ezra Lusk. Lusk getting balled up.
It's getting so slippery right now. Lusk made a big mistake there. Cost him valuable time.
Roger DeCoster up on the winner's podium. That's to get out of the rain probably right now and to see if his rider can pull this off.
Well, nobody can get in his way right now.
Larry Ward cutting around. Ezra Lusk has to be careful as well. Larry Ward sensing victory. Larry Ward looking at the checkers. Larry Ward! Incredible! Suzuki's first win here in Tampa. Roger DeCoster, a big sigh of relief. And this is the first time in the 90s, Larry Ward jumping on Lee McCollum. This is the first time in the 90s that all four brands have won a main event in Supercross. Ward, Lusk, Wyndham, and Albee are top four, with Huffman in fifth, LaRocco in sixth. A long time coming for Larry Ward, makes it even more special right now. What an amazing victory for Larry Ward, and it really pushes him up in the point standings. Is right now behind Jeremy McGrath. From the world-famous Daytona International Speedway, it's round 9 of AMA Supercross action. Hello, everybody. Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Marty Reed bringing you the action.
This is real fidget time. There's a great shot, both number 1 and 2, Emig and McGrath. These guys will reach down and check their gas probably about 150 times before this gate drops. It's just one of the things that you got to do.
5 seconds before it could go any moment now. Let's see who gets the whole shot. Daytona is underway. And look at that, Jeff Emig once again, just like he did in his heat race. Ezra Lusk, number 3, right behind him in second place. Oh, good start. Here goes Michael Craig. Craig loves the sand at times, even though he's done well in hardpack. So it is Jeff Emig, Michael Craig, Lusk battling it out with Henry. Henry goes to the inside of Lusk and takes over third.
Henry wants it. There he goes. Right past Craig. Craig a little bobble there. Loses another spot, maybe to Jeremy. And Henry, I saw him out there last night in the dark, walking this track. I already pointed that out, but that just displayed to me the hunger, the need. He wants to get himself back on track. He needs to do it here at Daytona and give Yamaha the biggest win they can have this year.
And there's Ezra Lusk behind him, number 3. So we've got a good, exciting start here for 20 laps now at the Daytona Supercross.
Well, what you have is what we had in Heat 3. You got Emig leading it, McGrath and Henry back there behind him. This time you got Lusk joining the party, and Albee, who rode good in his heat race, had some problems, but he was fast. He's up in there challenging Craig now. Yeah, I'm really impressed with Craig. You know, he had the injury, came right back and didn't even miss a beat. Right back in there with good starts, challenging. I watched him in practice. He got right behind Jeremy. Everyone looked about the same in practice in terms of speed, but he got right back in there with Jeremy and just copied everything he did. He learned. He's putting that to use right now. You can bet on it.
Craig and Albee going at it. You see Wyndham, number 8, going into the picture there.
Button making a move. Getting by Craig on the triple, into the next triple. Now he's got his sights set on Lusk, so Button's going to the front.
Jimmy Button with 3 podiums this year. He's led 14 laps on this season.
What Emig can just keep his fingers crossed for, and you know Jeremy Albrecht, his mechanic, signal right now, is hoping that this battle right here between Henry and Jeremy McGrath, Henry clipping a hay bale, these guys are on the edge. He's hoping this battle right here, these guys start thinking about themselves, kind of blocking each other, and they lose time to Emig.
Jeremy McGrath trying to find a way around him for his 50th career Supercross victory. Jeff Emig trying to battle with pride and get his first win on the season. Our Suzuki leaderboard, Emig, McGrath, Henry in 3rd, Ezra Lusk in 4th, and Greg Albertyn, a very competent 5th place ride for Albertyn.
And that interview that Marty got with Jeff Stanton just before the race, McGrath almost off the track there, nice save, but that interview with Jeff, he said, Ezra, stay in the top 5, watch those guys, learn a little bit, be there at the end. He's right there.
Jeremy Albrecht, 123 the sign, be strong as he's out in front. Jeff Emig trying to hold off Jeremy McGrath. 122.5 is now the time. Henry in 3rd place, Lusk in 4th, and Albertyn still holding on to 5th. The track holding up well. We expect ruts here at Daytona, but it's holding up very well.
This is a beautiful section through the whoops. Normally you'd see ruts through there, but it's just perfect. You can go pretty much anywhere you want. Let the back end just dance around under power. If you let off through there, that's when you got problems.
Okay, as McGrath tries to find a way around Emig. Let's go down to Marty Reed.
Guys, one of the things I've noticed down here is the way Emig is riding. He's a little bit more forward on the bike, the way he's attacking, leading into the jumps, trying to keep that bike as low as he can. The last few races when he was in this slump, he was sort of sitting up on the bike, catching an awful lot of air. Keep an eye on it, see if you agree with me, but from down here, that's the way it looks.
Here comes Jeremy McGrath. Emig trying to hold on. McGrath's got the inside, but yes, Emig, separate line. McGrath, they touch rubber. Jeremy is in the lead here at Daytona. He's looking for his second lead. He's looking for his second win here in Daytona. So it's McGrath, Emig, and now Ezra Lusk has moved into third, getting around Henry about the same time that McGrath made his move on Emig.
Yeah, that was the double roar of the crowd. Both passes taking place at the same time. And Marty, that was a great observation of Emig's riding style. And I have noticed that. And you'll notice when the riders are on the starting line waiting for that gate to fall, in that first 20 or 30 yards, you look at their position. You're in a hurry on the starting line, and that position demonstrates that. You're leaning forward. And if you can do that out there in the racetrack too, that just shows that you're charging hard and aggressive.
Because he's got LaRocco behind him. LaRocco has got a hay bale cover in his rear wheel. And it's LaRocco that's behind Greg Albertyn, number 7.
Albertyn, that same exact section where McGrath had his problem off the triple. The guys are going wide right there. They can't get the angle they had earlier. The track's getting rougher now, off onto the pavement.
Lusk closing in on Jeff Emig now as they rub. Emig holding on. Emig could use all that track. And especially the guy out in front can take the line he wants. Ezra Lusk now dropping back, and Ezra getting squirrely, has to go off the track and re-enter.
I guess the rule is too, when you get all out of shape like that and miss an obstacle, as long as you don't gain a position, as long as you re-enter safely, and I guess that's okay. That's what Lusk did right there.
Check out the lap time now for Jeremy McGrath, our leader here at Daytona.
Consistent, I can tell you that.
123.5.
Yeah, they're going.
He's picked it up a slight bit.
The only thing that'll cause that to ever fluctuate much more than a half a second will be lap traffic.
Mike LaRocco a little bit frustrated that he hasn't been able to put it all together to get better than a 4th place finish this year. He has 2 4th place finishes. Mike LaRocco, though, starting to pick up the space on Albertyn. Albie, number 7 right there, is in the position right in front of LaRocco. He's in 5th.
You know, the other thing too, Art, is these guys aren't that far behind Henry. They can certainly hear him. That's for sure.
The 4-stroke.
They can look up the track not too far and see him. They know that's still within their grasp. So McGrath's lap times now, Art, out front are starting to slow down just a little bit, down to 124.
Here comes Albertyn, makes the hippity-hop pass on Doug Henry.
Great move.
Boy, a strong race from Albertyn so far.
Yep, he's looking good. Really impressed me last week. Looked super in his heat, and I know he's a good mud rider, but whatever he did in the last couple of weeks, he needs to keep doing it because he's back in form.
Lusk in 3rd behind Emig and McGrath.
Yeah, that 5 seconds, though, is going to be pretty tough to make up. There you see that dancing around through that rut of the whoops. Boy, this track, when I was a kid, Art, you know, you talked about me growing up here. I spent a few months here every year during the Florida series. I'd always be here to watch the race, and it's my favorite thing to go walk the track after the race. Look how rough it got. And right now, these guys are hitting so many holes out there. They'll be happy to see that white flag.
Albie, a 2nd place here last year, one of 5 podiums. As we look at Jeremy McGrath.
Just steady, but you know what? That steady isn't quite good enough right now because in that last lap, he lost quite a bit of time to Emig.
McGrath never really has looked at Daytona as one of the big important races, but it became important to him when it was one of the few races that he hadn't won, and Daytona being, of course, the first Supercross race ever, and it's great history.
I think he just got tired of, you know, he won just about everything there ever was to win. It was like, what else do I have to prove? And of course, you know, we added to that too, a little bit.
Yes, we did,
and I think he got tired of listening to it, so he said, okay, I'll win that thing too.
So after his best of a 2nd in 93, he got a 7th in 95, and then got the win in 96. That took us off his back.
Brian Hughes and John Dowd battling. Dowd getting the upper hand there, just through that whoop section. A little better line out of the corner, got a better drive through there.
Coming through the lappers, John Dowd and Ryan Hughes.
That part that Stan was talking about, when you get tired, this is where that starts to happen. Your back hurts.
Whoa, look at that cover. That's going to wrap around big time.
Yeah, so you can say goodbye to his rear brake for a couple laps now. And it's a Honda banner. Get that thing out of my Yamaha.
Oh,
Ryan
getting
Hughes
squirrely.
all over the place. That strength saves that.
Hay
That's
bale
it.
cover was a big item in the 125s in a battle between Ferry and Pichon. Pichon was leading, had to come out of the race, and Ferry, that was his last win. Here's Wyndham and Pichon. Pichon number 16, trying to move up a notch on Kevin Wyndham. That's the battle for 7th. Emig is pulled to within about 3 seconds of Jeremy McGrath. Our leader is McGrath.
Hughes and Dowd still going out on the front straightaway. There you get a chance. Still shadows. Hughes just, I don't know how he had room to jump that triple. Just about grazing elbows with that left rider there.
Lusk is riding a lonely 3rd right now behind Emig. And now Team Yamaha's John Dowd starting to make a move on Wyndham. Wyndham slowing way off the pace, David.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly what happened. I fail to believe he's that tired. It's got to be something other than that, but he's visibly, you can see that he's not pushing that hard anymore.
And Dowd makes an easy pass. Jeff Emig looking for a 2nd place finish, and it's pretty clear cut right now. Ezra Lusk as the checkers fly here in Daytona for Jeremy McGrath, his 2nd victory in Daytona.
And Emig goes across that finish line as though he won. He's stoked. What a turnaround for him. Great ride for Jeff.
Supercross returns to the Superdome in New Orleans for the first time since 1980.
There's a great look from Emig's point of view. He's way to the outside.
And you can still hear Randy Lawrence cheering for his rider now as the board is almost ready to go sideways. It is sideways. We will start here in the Superdome for the first time in 18 years. Supercross returns to New Orleans.
McGrath getting cut off right off the bat.
Wyndham, the whole shot, gets a standing ovation from his friends and family here in Louisiana. Huffman is right behind him, though, and Larry Ward battles with Huffman for 2nd place, side by side. Ward cuts in front. Good power by the Team Suzuki rider. Larry Ward trying to catch up with number 8, Kevin Wyndham.
Beautiful move by Ward, just like he did in his heat race. Stealing 2nd from Emig right away. Here, attacking Wyndham, trying to show him a wheel, cutting to the inside there. Both heat race winners out to the best starts. There's Lusk, little ways back.
Lusk is in 7th place right now as we take a look at our leaders battling it out. Larry Ward and Kevin Wyndham side by side. So close they can rub plastic. Wyndham gets the corner first. Oh my goodness gracious. Kevin Wyndham and Ward off the triple.
Well, Ward keeps going down that straightaway all the way on the inside. If he doesn't get around him before that, Wyndham's going to have to cover that line.
Larry Ward's having fun right now. He's picking his spots, coming through the whoops. Kevin Wyndham working hard. Just barely holds on to that lead here in the Superdome.
I don't think these guys are looking behind them right now, but if they do, they're going to see that McGrath has moved into 3rd.
McGrath moving in front of Pichon and 4th.
They're going to need to step it up a little bit because McGrath is coming. McGrath is continuing to close just a little bit, and that'll change the complexion of this race up front. Ward's going to get impatient.
Our leaderboard, you don't see Ezra Lusk right there on the Suzuki leaderboard right now because he tangled with Hughes. He's in 16th, Hughes in 20th. But it's Wyndham and Ward, 1 and 2. That's the battle we're focusing in on right now.
And Lusk dropping back to 16th. He's only 1 spot ahead of Jeff Emig, so both those guys are struggling here tonight.
Wyndham has only led 1 lap on the season so far coming into this race.
Pichon and Huffman putting in a good ride.
Here's the battle for 2nd, number 4. Larry Ward, number 2 on the Chaparral Yamaha.
Ward coming from the outside of that whoop section, just grazing the front wheel of McGrath.
Is Jeremy McGrath. McGrath cutting to the inside. Can he take over 2nd place? Yes! Will he hold 2nd place? Ward likes to come back hard.
Another lap time from Wyndham, just under 54, down to the 53.7. He's going to need to keep those going and really fight. He's going to have to earn this one. McGrath is not going to give it to him.
Now less than 14 laps remaining. 54.6 the lap time. Larry Ward trying for his 3rd podium. And here's Jeremy McGrath, number 2. It's McGrath in 2nd place. trying to catch up with Kevin Windham. Windham over the finish line jump as Jeremy goes into that corner. Let's go to Kevin Windham, number 8, looking smooth so far. Windham has a 7-second lead now on Jeremy McGrath. We're looking at the third place rider, Larry Ward, number 4, and the guy right behind him, number 16, Mikel Pichon.
Ward that time just going for the double, Pichon tripling, so he's making some time there. Windham over the triple clean. It comes down to a time in the race, Art, where what you got to do is just keep doing all the obstacles. You start getting really tired. The best thing you can do is just keep doing all the obstacles and just be consistent in the track. As soon as you make a mistake out there and can't do a triple, that's enough right there. That one mistake during a lap costs you about 2 or 3 seconds.
Huffman in 5th place, number 15, Team Kawasaki. Kawasaki's best position rider so far in this race. Henry is right behind him as we hit the halfway point of the race. So Windham has done an outstanding job in opening up a lead on Jeremy McGrath at the halfway mark. Seems like, though, those next laps, the next 10 laps are the most difficult.
Well, you know what happens in a Supercross is it takes 10 or 15 laps to get to the part of the race where the race really begins. That's where the tough part comes in. That's where your homework during the week really pays off. Hughes having a problem at the end of the whoops. The guys that go out and practice 20-lap mains during the week and think they got it all handled for the race, that doesn't really cut it. You got to go out there and go 25 or 30 laps and know that you can go the distance. But the race is always harder than what you're doing during the week.
Morocco really hounding him, number 5, the Factory Connection Honda. Back and forth we go with the Team Yamaha 4-stroke.
See the way the track builders designed this thing, with it, you can go inside or outside. You can take totally different timing right there. That time in the favor of Morocco.
Pichon and Huffman in their battle for 4th right now. That's behind Ward, McGrath, and Windham.
Well, these guys pushing each other had actually caught Ward and looked like they were maybe going to get around, but now Ward has opened up a lead. Now these guys are only going for the double. They were tripling and Ward wasn't. They were gaining time there, but now the face of that jump is so bad, the only guys jumping it is McGrath and Windham out front.
Pichon's best finish on the year was the opener in Los Angeles. Huffman and Pichon trading back and forth. Good competition. Here's Pichon in the whoops, looking strong.
Oh, there's three passes right there.
Tony Berluti.
Yeah, loosen up, flow. Ride like you know you can. You can tell by the way these guys are riding, I certainly can, that physical fitness is really starting to play a part. These guys are getting tired. They're not attacking the track.
John Sebastian Waugh going down, and Huffman doing a good job banging the bike of Pichon. There you see Waugh as he tries to get out of the way. Here's our leader, Kevin Windham, number 8.
See his body position right there, forward, charging out of that corner through the mechanics area, still jumping the triple as we get the Honda stopwatch going. We'll see the lead back to McGrath.
There's McGrath. About 5 seconds, so he's closing it down a little bit. The next rider that he's going to have to try to pass is not an easy guy to pass under any circumstance, but especially tonight, Jeff Emig. Pichon, number 9, John Dowd.
Well, Emig will fight. He doesn't like to be passed. Even if he's being lapped, he still doesn't like to be passed. And here comes Dowd charging from behind. He's caught all the way up to Pichon, who's really started to either tire or his arms are pumped or something, but he's definitely not comfortable out there and charging like he was, and that's helped John Dowd close the gap.
John Dowd, the 125 West rider, has got that 1-point lead in the championship battle for the 125 Western Crown over David Villemin of France. And here's Dowd, who's jumps into the lead with Pichon anyway.
Oh, Ward going down.
Ward goes down. Oh, as we just take the action, Ward still has not been passed by Huffman.
Huffman actually just went around, and so did Morocco, so he's going to drop 2 positions.
Look at the smile on that mechanic that worked so hard.
He's not going to triple that this time. Why take the chance? He's got Emig right behind him, who he just lapped earlier.
Lusk goes over the finish line jump, taking his time, milking it. The checkers for Kevin Windham with the heel clicker.
1997 has come and gone. 1998 is upon us. Everybody has got new toys, new kit, new bikes, new colors, new graphics, new sponsors, and everybody's ready for a big season. Beaucaire, always the season opener, and this is where they all sort out who's who in the zoo, and a good day so far. Well, so far everything's going well. Let's see who's done the homework, and it looks to me like the green machine is there yet again. This time, Yves de Maria. Well, that'll get the French people on their toes, but right up there with him, Bartolini's there, Eastwood's there, Volan's there, Pit Byra right in the thick of it. The weather hasn't been that kind in Europe, but they've all got the work to do. De Maria out on the Kawasaki. He's tested it over the winter, and he's been very, very quick in practice. De Maria always, if he can keep it in shape, is amongst the leaders, but he knows that behind him is the best in the world, and they'll all be looking to put their nose in front early in the season. There's the man they all want to beat. That is the 1997-96 world champion Stefan Everts, back on the HRC Honda yet again under Dave Grant's control for 1998. Number 6 Talon Voland on the brand new Yummy as well. So there's plenty new machines. Talon Voland is out there as well. Number 31, Mark Eastwood, so far looking good. He'll want a quick early showing. This is where they decide who's going to dominate throughout the year. This is where the pecking order starts. They all want to see who's around and who's doing what. Number 3, Pit Byra, the man that at the end of the season at the Motocross Des Nations was sensationally quick. He's now out there in the same stable as Everts. He's now got factory HRC equipment, and I really think if Byra can keep it together, he and Everts could prove to be unstoppable this year. Now all of a sudden, all of them together. Paul Cooper's in there, Everts is in there, Pit Byra's in there. Well, Everts and Byra, he's got a very formidable teammate for this year. Pit Byra, the sweetheart of Germany, and he really was sensational at the Motocross Des Nations. Here he is at Beaucaire, doing everything right. He's going to pop it on the back wheel, and he knows that he's done enough. So Pit Byra will take the win on the HRC factory Honda, but of course missing today is Sebastian Tortelli. Where is he? He's across in the US of A, and we're hoping to catch up with him in a few moments.
Emig right there, battling with Tortelli to the inside. Tortelli now moves into second place. Oh, this is unbelievable, and he's within striking distance of Henry. Here comes Tortelli and the white flag coming up as he comes around to the finish line jump. The white flag is waving for the Frenchman.
Oh, and Henry goes down just after the finish. Henry leaned too far to the inside, lost his balance in that deep rut.
The checkered flag for Sebastian Tortelli. Oh, my goodness, I don't know how you sing in French. I believe in miracles, but this has just happened for Sebastian Tortelli.
That was a big surprise for me. You know, I was not expecting it that good. I mean, I was expecting top 5, and I would be happy about it. But winning was, great for me.
And so to Talavera in Spain, yet again the rain caught us out. It's done so many times. Look at the condition of the circuit, and this is the epic duel. Everts and Tortelli are going to start all over again, but Byra's there, Voland is there. There's plenty of them in there. De Maria will want to get his nose in front as well. Pit Byra on the Honda. Pit Byra on the Honda going wide around the outside, then cuts across. He knows that the next corner is a left-hander. Then number 9, De Maria, looking so good at Beaucaire. Now he's come across to Talavera on the Kawasaki, and De Maria certainly has looked very, very impressive. There they go again. This is Pit Byra and De Maria having a full-on go. This is the first race of the season, and if they can go head-to-toe all the way, this is like Belgium all over again. Pit Byra on the brand new, out-of-the-box HRC Honda, pulls off his tear-offs. The mud is absolutely ridiculous here at Talavera. The air horns are going, the umbrellas are up. The mud, you can see the steam coming off the motors. If you drop it in this mud, you're going to battle to get it going again. The bike becomes ridiculously heavy. But that is the man that set the Motocross Des Nations alight last year. Pit Byra looking good, but he's got a rear view mirror full of De Maria. The mud is getting deeper and deeper as they cut a trench through the corner. Pit Byra has got this Honda absolutely together. Oh, and that's Voland that has gone down. Talon Voland has gone down in the corner. Look at the steam coming off the machine. Now the bike will be caked up in mud. 1, 2, 3. He's gone down 4 positions by dropping it there. Talon Voland from the States He's the one man that gave Everts a good charge at the beginning of 1997.
Not the old shot, but you're up there.
Yeah, he was running third there on the first lap, but he just fell. I saw him over here, and he looks like he's dropped back to about 7th. So he's got a lot of work to do, and now we'll just see how it wears on. It's a bad break for us, but hopefully he can get it back up to the top 5.
And what can a rider do in these terrible conditions?
Not a lot. You know, I think the best situation is to throw your goggles, put your head down, and just keep going.
Well, there's some good advice from Talon Volan's brother Tyson, also from the US, and managing his brother right now, and he's doing fine. Dropped a few positions, but doing even better. Pit Byra up front on the Honda. The German fans will be very, very happy to see this, and so will Honda. Pit Byra really has come into his own in the last 6 months. He has just not put a foot wrong, and here he is at the opener in Talavera in Spain, round 1. They have to stamp their authority all over this race very, very quickly. If they let Everts get his head, and Everts can rack up a couple of wins quickly, they're not going to see him for the rest of the season. There is Stefan Everts. So he's there. He's got Tortelli. That's the man that a lot of people have come to see. He set America alight, winning the opening round in America. Then from there he took a bit of strain and had a couple of hard falls. Now he's back to contest the 250 World Championship in Europe, and he'll be out there chasing Everts as hard as he can. It's a long season. Everts now throws goggles away. So after doing a lot of hard work, Everts has moved up to 2nd position by passing De Maria. So it's HRC Honda's 1st and 2nd. Then in 3rd spot we've got De Maria. Tortelli is charging. He's in 4th spot at the moment. He's coming through. Up the cheap seats he goes. What is Stefan Everts doing in the mud? He just can't get the traction to get out of there. But he's Mr. Cool and Calm. He'll get out of there. Pit Byra will pull a little bit further away. The conditions are absolutely atrocious. But Pit Byra is showing us he's got his goggles on the left-hand side handlebars. He'll want to throw those away completely. He's had enough of that. So Pit Byra in the mud. He really has got this machine going very, very well indeed. He's keeping to sensible lines, keeping it under control. His pits will have told him that Stefan Everts, the 96 and 97 world champion, is behind him, not closing at this stage. So Pit Byra is there. De Maria, now we've got an interesting situation. Tortelli has moved up to 2nd. Well, Pit Byra will certainly know about that very, very quickly, and he will be told that the charging Frenchman is coming through on the Kawasaki. Pit Byra is in the lead. Tortelli has gone to 2nd. We'll have to pick up then further back on Everts and De Maria. I think that Everts has gone to 3rd at the moment, De Maria to 4th. Well, can the ever-charging Tortelli, that's the young Frenchman, the sensation of 96, 97, the sensation of Supercross in America as well. There's De Maria at the moment. Everts has gone past him, so he will be down to 4th at the present time. This is the opener. Well, Marnie Befoot's now starting to come up onto the race leaders. Number 2, Marnie Befoot, he's moved up into 5th position overall. Talon Volan working his way up again. Then number 20, that's nice to see Justin Morris on the RWJ Honda machine riding out of Britain. Justin Morris having a very, very good ride at the present time. Massio goes through as well. So Massio is there. Yoki Carlson, nice to see him up there as well. So Yoki is getting up onto the leaderboard, and so is Mark Eastwood on number 14. Nice to see Paul Cooper on the SoCal Kawasaki, but up front it's still all about one man and one bike. The man is Pit Byra, the bike is an HRC factory Honda, sponsored by Palmo Honda, and certainly he is doing them very, very proud today. Gets himself through, paddles out with his feet and gets himself going. Extremely difficult to keep on the circuit. The conditions are unbelievably bad. Pit Byra still happy to do a couple of doubles if you land in the mud and lose that, because the bike just goes straight in and stops absolutely dead. You don't need any brakes at all here. The bike just stops. The minute you decelerate, the thing just sucks into the mud and down it will go. A lot of people battling with the mud, finding the conditions at Talavera in Spain very, very difficult indeed. You've got to concentrate. This is a Grand Prix. They've done a huge amount of winter work, and somebody else goes down. A Kawasaki goes down there. We pick up, that's De Maria that has dropped it. So the quality of De Maria, and you can still throw it away. Pit Byra charging. He knows he's got the Tortellis and the Everts. He's got some heavyweights behind him. He's got Yoki Carlson and Justin Morris coming up through the field. That's the danger man. Last year's World Championship. There's Sebastian Tortelli. On a dry circuit, he has this incredibly flamboyant riding style that really brings the crowd to their feet. But today, he's got to bank some very, very valuable points indeed. He knows that Everts is ahead of him. Pitbyra is ahead of him. He cannot afford to get left out early in the season. He's got to get onto that leaderboard. So that's Stefan Everts, absolute Mr. Reliable. Does the work well. Coming under the management now of Dave Grant. And between the two of them, they make a very, very formidable pair indeed. Sponsorship this year by Philip Morris. Magnificent new rig up in the paddock and looking very, very professional for 1998. So Tortelli goes on a charge. Tortelli is after them as well. Manu Befoots certainly moving up with them and keeping everybody in place. Talon Voland had 2 falls so far. He is now behind Befoots, so he's got to catch up yet again. Talon Voland certainly going to be very, very tired for heat number 2. That is Marnik Befoots keeping it together. Certainly he is one man that could win the championship. That's Talon Voland riding out of the US of A. Started off last year so well and then had a big, big, big accident. He threw it away big time. And then at Fox Hills in the British Grand Prix, he got caught up in an accident as well. And that cost him a lot of very, very valuable championship points. So Talon Voland with plenty of work to do in the opener of the season here at Talavera. They won't be happy riding in this mud, but it's the same for everybody. And Voland, yet again, that's the 3rd time in the first round of the 250 GP that Talon has dropped it. And that's going to cost him valuable, valuable time. Pitbyra hanging onto those handlebars. You can see it wants to get his own head shake going in that mud. Oh, somebody's thrown it away. A Yamaha rider thrown it up into the paramedics there. Paramedics doing all the work. And there it looks as if Gary Hoptroff as well. Gary Hoptroff battling with the mud. That bike is so heavy. Mad. The mud is packed up underneath the mud guards. And Pitbyra must know that he's done enough. The hand goes up. Pitbyra takes it. The first 250 race of the year. Pitbyra on the Honda. Stefan Everts is going to get a very, very well-earned 2nd. And then 3rd will be Tortelli. We're going to try and catch up with Stefan before Eurosport grab him.
Wet and cold, Stefan?
It's not so cold, but it's so difficult to ride. It's so slippery and you have the mud everywhere and the water makes it a little bit easier because it keeps raining. If it would stop raining and it would start drying, then it would be more bad.
Okay, hey, take it, talk to him.
Bikes washed and polished down to the line yet again for round 2. 2nd heat of the day. Who's going to get the all-conquering hole shot? They come thundering down. They'll go way to our left. We see a Honda in there. We see a number 5. Oh, a gaggle of bikes has gone down. A pile of machines has gone down, going into the corner. Stefan Everts goes pouring away. We can't pick up who has gone down yet, but Stefan Everts on the Honda has just gone into the lead in the most incredible style. He went paddling through the first corner, and he's come out on the other side. I'm sure he must think the race has almost been stopped. There's nobody behind him. Let's have a relook and see what happened. That looks like Pitbyra that went down on the inside. Talon Voland missed him, but a lot of riders went down, and Stefan Everts must think his birthday has come. Through the ruts, there's nobody behind him. His pits will be very, very quick to tell him that there was a melee on the start. Goggles off already. On lap number 2, Stefan Everts has thrown his goggles away. Who is ever going to run with the 96 and 97 250 world champion? They've got a lot of work to do. Byra went down in that first corner incident, and that's going to take a lot of catching up. Justin Morris is doing everything right at the moment. He's got the RWJ Honda, which is always magnificently turned out, and I think Justin Morris has gone to 2nd position overall. Well, that will certainly keep them all motivated. Number 8 will pick up on that rider as well. He has moved up to 3rd. He's gone down. So Justin Morris, that's Honda's 1 and 2 again. Justin Morris, riding out of the UK, has gone to 2nd, but it's all about one man, Stefan Everts at the moment. Here at Talavera in Spain, the rain has come yet again, and it is soaking out there. The mud, we spoke to them at the interval, and they said it was almost unrideable conditions. But if you want to be a world champion, you better learn to ride in these conditions and every other type of condition that we're going to see throughout the 1998 season. So that's the man, twice 96 and 97 world champion, riding for HRC Honda out of Belgium. He assisted in giving the Belgians the Motocross Des Nations victory yet again in September last year. Here he is, having done some work during the winter, went out and rode in the States as well, showed them that he's not anybody to mess with. And here he is back again, leading the second heat of the first 250 Grand Prix of 1998. Well, Honda will be very, very happy with us. Fred Bolly is his teammate for the new season. Fred Bolly missing here today, but I'm sure Evers can fly the flag on his own. Frederick Bolly, I'm sure, will be back. Is that Volan down again? We'll have to pick up a number. I don't know, but he's certainly spent a lot of time. No, that's not him. He's spent a lot of time in the mud today, and that is very, very tiring indeed. So they've all got to play catch up to this man. Another tear off. He hadn't thrown his goggles away. He's just ripping the tear offs off one after the other. As soon as they get caked up in mud, you've got to get rid of that very, very quickly. And of course, if you throw your goggles away, you pay a big, big penalty for that. So Pit Byra, he's starting to work his way up through the field slowly, but he's left himself far too much to do. That's number 8, the man that went down earlier, picked the bike up and got himself going again. We need to pick up on Justin Morris and have a look and see where the RWJ Honda is. But at the moment, it's all about one man, Stefan Everts, second in the first heat. And if he can win the second heat, he is going to take the first Grand Prix of the season. And that will certainly put him in a very, very confident position. He knows that Talon Volan will charge all the way through the year. And of course, Sebastian Tortelli on that Yonder prepared Kawasaki. He knows that he will be extremely quick. So Everts always keen to get some points in the bank early in the season and get on with a job of work. He knows he's out there to win Grand Prix, sponsored by Philip Morris and Winfield Cigarettes, a wonderful sponsor to have. And that's the man doing what he knows best. Lap after lap, he just slots them in. Very, very, very consistent rider, riding again on Pirelli tyres for 1998. They've certainly stood by him, and in testing he's given the Pirelli engineers a lot of feedback and a lot of information, and it would appear that they've come up with a winning package to go along with the HRC Honda. So Justin Morris, second spot. RWJ Honda will be very, very happy about that. Number 3, it hasn't been all Pit Byra's day in the second heat. He certainly had a field day in the first race of the day. Now he's got problems. He dropped it in the first corner. The bike really loaded up, and De Maria also having to come from a long way back on that quacker. But De Maria, you're going to see him there right through the season, I'm sure. He gives 110%. They know that the checkered flag is not too far away. All the Spanish supporters, the Belgian supporters, a lot of French visitors here today as well. The umbrellas have come down, but of course the mud stays on the circuit. Very, very, very difficult riding conditions. There's Sebastian Tortelli. He'll either win it or spin it, but you can be sure that he's got his fans. Now that he's got the American fans behind him as well, some huge Sebastian Tortelli supporters all over the world. He was absolutely electric at the Colosseum. Pit Byra, he goes out of the race. Tortelli will obviously move up yet another position. Talon Volan still running in the points, so he'll be half satisfied with the opener here at Talavera, where we've seen many, many wet races in Spain. And then they'll move across to the hard-packed tracks and the dust and the sand. And I'm sure we're going to see plenty from Volan, from Tortelli, from Bolly. Volan with a problem yet again. He has dropped that machine so many times. The new Yummy 250 is certainly very, very quick. Another rider just says, this is enough. I just don't have the strength to do much more. Look at that incline. That gives you a good indication just how steep that is. That bike doesn't want to go up there, and neither does the rider or come down there. He's had enough. So the rider's now having to be careful of fallen riders as well. The race is coming to an end. They are extremely tired. Mud-packed machines. Very, very difficult to ride indeed. So Stefan Everts caked in mud, and so is De Maria. Stefan Everts has done enough. He will take the overall win in the opener here at Talavera. Right, we're just waiting for the second man to come home, and that should be Sebastian Tortelli. Yes, it is. So on my quick adding up, overall for the opener, it should give us Everts, Tortelli, Voland, Byra, and then Justin Morris from the UK.
Dirt Bike Rider magazine is Britain's best-selling off-road motorcycle magazine, packed with all the top race reports, the best colour photography, and in-depth valuations on all the latest machinery. Dirt Bike Rider is a must for any off-road enthusiast. On sale on the third Friday of every month, Dirt Bike Rider is available from your newsagent or delivered direct to your door for no extra cost on subscription. Dirt Bike Rider is also the official UK distributor for all Motovision's 1998 productions. For 1998's monthly video magazine, US Supercross and Outdoor National Rounds, all the season's review tapes and subscriptions, contact Dirt Bike Rider magazine at this address.
Jeremy McGrath just blazes by emig. McGrath is our leader. The white flag lap for Jeremy McGrath. The checkers for Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm really happy. My Chaparral Yamaha is working really good. It's been a long time since I've had confidence like I do now, and I'm afraid it's going to have to snowball from here.